Well, it's time now for the Gianna Volpe Report, brought to you in part by Maximus Health and Fitness in Riverhead, Village Overhead Door in Southold, Montauk Beverage, Victor Giannini, author of Counselor, International Executive Protection, and Michael Evans, author of The Real Matrix. Now, ladies and gentlemen, live from sunny Florida.
Good morning, Bruce. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. It's a beautiful day down here in the Sunshine State. I read some more of The Counselor, the book by one of our sponsors, and it's phenomenal. And actually, I got a text message from the author yesterday saying that he gave Alda the book and he wanted it.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
But was not surprised after reading it.
Well,
we'll read more of it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even, like, a good chunk of the way into the book, and I'm already, like, he's a phenomenal writer. Mm-hmm. From writer to writer, I must say. Well, so what's going on?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Because, you know, you're in Florida, I'm in New York.
Yeah.
It's
there's a lot of you know, de-stressing happening. Mm-hmm. I went to Clearwater Beach. I've been running around catching Pokemon.
You know, that's and it's funny because that's like the current you know, it's the whole new rage. Apparently the app in the game came out this week, and people are doing genuinely stupid things, Gianna.
Yes, yeah, I can only imagine because there's Pokemon everywhere, and you've got to catch them all, Bruce. That's the whole thing. You got to catch all of them, and sometimes they're on the highway or inside of a pond, inside of a swamp.
But I'm fine.
You have to go through.
Well, there's one person that evidently walked into a pond. And walked into a pond, and hunting down these Pokemon, whatever the hell they are.
This is why I mentioned the pond, because there's like 7 in this swamp lake behind the development where I'm staying, and I want so badly to just tromp through there so I could catch them all.
They got alligators, you know, in Florida. That's not always a good idea.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you do what you want. You're a big girl.
Yeah, no, and people are getting robbed because of it.
Well, one guy up in Auburn, New York, was apparently playing it while he was driving his car.
That's really ill-advised. Like, I mean...
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you how ill-advised. He hit a tree up in Auburn.
Oh, my God.
He's okay. You know, broke his ankle. But
there's going to be so much worse that comes from this.
But he also, now, besides not doing what he set out to do, he also has the unique privilege of getting he'll get a ticket.
Yeah.
For texting while driving, you know. It's just, you can't do that.
People are going to die. And, I mean, I only Pokemon Go while walking, which is also ill-advised.
Well, there are people doing this in New York City, not the smartest thing to do.
Right. I mean, where I'm doing it from it's like a very empty the area where I'm staying, it's basically like a bunch of rich people have invested a lot of money into the area, and they set all these little developments with condos and cute little shops.
Right.
But they're empty, and they're turnkey. They're just waiting for development to catch up. Mm-hmm. So it's really, there's no people, and there's nice cobblestone roads that I'm just kind of walking around, and it's empty. So it's not so bad. But yeah, I wouldn't do this in New York.
No, it's not a good idea.
Ponyta and Poliwags and Mankeys.
You know, it's funny because I can remember when my youngest son was a little kid, Pokemon was all the rage.
It still is.
And
explained to me the staying power, and I was saying, I don't know why, but I do know that I feel like I'm smart because I invested in those Pokemon cards when they first came out. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, even then, And I remember I put the binder together and collected them as an investment. And I was like, this is going to be for my children. And it's like a down payment for a house now.
Yeah. Oh, I can believe it.
Definitely not mad that I did that.
No, I mean, but I'm just amazed at how the craze has taken off in such a short time.
Right. I mean, Time Magazine and Fortune Magazine saying it's already bigger than Tinder and Twitter is next. So those are some that's pretty high ranking.
Yeah.
In what, a week? I ended up calling my father and saying I wanted to invest, and then I think Nintendo might still own.
I think they still own the rights to it. Yeah.
Niantic, right? And I had suggested Nintendo stock to my dad years ago, and so I was like, "Please tell me we still have it." And he's like, "I don't even know. I don't pay attention to our stocks anymore."
But the funny part about that is, if you did, he's done very well for himself, and if you didn't, you really don't want to know.
I want to invest in them even now. I think it's going to get even bigger.
I don't know, but these trends don't last a very long time.
Yeah, what? Do you just mean the Pokemon Enterprise, or do you mean Pokemon Go?
I mean, Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, it's still a beta version. I mean, the program still locks up all the time, and people it's only getting bigger.
I don't know. I do know this. It's like all the fads and trends that you've seen. Like, 10 years ago, everybody had to have a MySpace page. Now you got to have the Facebook page. Then you got to have Instagram. Then you got to have Twitter. Now you got to have the Pokemon Go app. I mean, there comes a point,
right, where there's going to be a reformation.
We're going to, what's going to happen? Yeah, there's going to be, people are going to start throwing their cell phones out the window.
You think?
Well, put it this way. I think that we have become, in a lot of ways, this society, tell me if I'm wrong, but young people can't exist without their iPhones. They just can't exist. And you see this, like, you have dinner with someone under 30 or in their early 30s, and they're sitting there while they're having dinner and they're supposedly talking to you, texting on their iPhone.
Yeah, they're really not there then.
Someone's really going to pick up, some shrewd parent somewhere is going to be the first one to pick up the iPhone and throw it at a wall. And watch it break.
I hope they don't do that.
I mean, it'll get the lesson across. It'll get the lesson across really quickly.
Still, I don't think that you should be using your devices at the dinner table.
No.
I imagine that it gets it's getting to be harder of a fight. I was sitting at the airport.
I can only imagine what you guys do, what young people do on a date. I mean, God.
Yeah, you imagine you actually have to talk to each other.
Well, but here's the question: but do they talk to each other, or do they sit there having dinner and text?
I remember when I first moved to Long Island, the guy that I was dating, I remember when he got his smartphone, and he got a smartphone before I did, and it really was like losing my partner. Like right away. Mm-hmm. Suddenly he was always on the thing, and I would say, we're out to dinner, and be all like a naggy wife. Mm-hmm. Like, man, talk to me, don't talk to the phone.
But that's my point, it's like, and I also, and I think also as a result, I think, the next generation of kids, like, the Millenials children, they will have no social skills. None.
Yeah, it's really interesting now that I'm thinking about it, because I wonder if that's part of the reason why the whole thing is that what's happening again. The 90s are happening again, where it's like everyone's a freak, it's like the alternative is the mainstream.
I must have missed that.
My older sister saying that there came a point where being mainstream and different and blah, blah, blah was so mainstream that she started to dress the opposite, that everything went the opposite way.
Well, I know the grunge thing was big in the 80s or in the 90s. Yeah, and that came and went in a heartbeat too.
What did?
The whole grunge thing.
Right.
I mean, it was like everybody was doing the grunge thing, and then as a result, you could see the guys who were like wanted to be ahead of the curve. They started dressing really well and stopped doing the grunge thing.
Right. It's exactly what I'm saying. Because my older sister was always the coolest, so she was one of those ahead of the curve people. And me, I grew up in her shadow, seeing all of the ripped jeans and stuff.
Right.
So when I got into high school, I was wearing like jeans with rip holes in the knees, and people were like, Gianna, it's not the 90s anymore. And I'm just thinking, yeah, it is in my head.
Yeah, but it's funny how that goes.
There's a little lizard, and he's jumping on the fence, like from fence post to fence post. Mm-hmm. Looks like a ninja.
Well, I'm just finding I'm enjoying watching the whole trend. Kind of just like it repeats. Peter, there are those who say that that history repeats itself, and there are others who say it kind of rhymes. I'm not sure where I fall on that, except to say, it is more likely that it is more likely to rhyme than repeat itself, but it does in fact every so often repeat itself. Anyway, we're going to hit the break. Then we're going to
come back with Bob Nelson
on your Gianna Volpe report on WRIV Radio. Nothing goes with a day at the beach, playing sports, working in the yard, or just relaxing like a nice cold iced tea, and Montauk BeverageWorks iced teas will quench that thirst on the hottest summer day. Whether it's iced citrus black tea, red berry hibiscus, white tea with peach, or half and half with lemonade, or their lemonade, Montauk BeverageWorks iced teas and lemonade refresh you better than a glass of water down your back on a hot summer day. Montauk Beverage iced teas and lemonade are all natural iced teas made with premium teas. Their sweetened teas use only cane sugar, and there are no artificial flavors or preservatives in their iced teas and lemonade. So get some Montauk BeverageWorks iced teas and lemonades. Let them get a chill in your refrigerator, and then when you're looking for something refreshing and good, open one up and enjoy it. Montauk Beverage iced teas and lemonades are available at all 4 Blue Duck Bakery Cafe locations and at finer stores throughout the East End.
Maximus Health and Fitness of Riverhead is 25,000 square feet of everything you need to create a new you. Maximus Health and Fitness, 130 East Main Street, has state-of-the-art exercise equipment, free weights, professional personal trainers, and private workout areas. They're next to the Suffolk Theater in the heart of historic downtown Riverhead. Use their child facilities, tanning stations, a hair salon, and smoothie bar with your membership at Maximus. Your membership also includes a full calendar of fitness classes like cross-training, weight training, boot camp, Zumba, spin, yoga, Pilates, and a lot more. Start a new, healthier lifestyle that you can stick with all year long. Join Maximus Health and Fitness, 130 East Main Street in Riverhead. Call 369-6293. 369-6293. Check their website at maximusriverhead.com or come on in to Maximus Fitness today. Maximus Health and Fitness, being healthy and getting in shape has never been easier.
Every villain thinks they're a hero, especially on the east end of Long Island. Timothy Dune is one such man. He's a tortured soul, and you won't be able to put down Victor Giannini's new novel, Counselor, as you're reading about him and what could happen to the East End. Roger Rosenblatt of Time magazine called Counselor an important piece of work. Robert Reeve says Counselor is compelling and will linger in your mind. Don't bury your head in the newspaper or in the sand. Read Counselor, Victor Giannini's new novel, available in paperback or on Kindle from Amazon.com or Silverthought.com. Counselor, the story of what once was an idyllic place that's become home to McMansions and private estates and its effect on one person. Counselor by Victor Giannini, available on Amazon.com.